So today we're going to get into the Aldelo Express demo basics, or the things that you should do to be prepared to show when you're showing the Aldelo Express product. This is a copy of a memo, if you will, a one-pager that I sent out sometime in December that shows you by column, by table service, quick service, pizza, and Mesa Plus, the things that we thought you should at least at a minimum know how to show and know how to present with confidence. So let's go over some of these. I've got them in three sections. These are this is a section that you should be able to actually present on your iPad or tablet. Let's look at table service, and you see the screen layout. I want you to be able to go through the screen layout and understand every button. And you should do this on every presentation you start off with. Get the customer comfortable with what all the different buttons mean. This is a way of showing some of the features without actually showing the feature. So make sure that your customer is comfortable with the layout of what those things mean. Then do a basic transaction. I want you to do a basic one item cash type of transaction, something that's very simple, not elaborate. Don't get off in the weeds on it. Just do a simple transaction before you start getting into the more intricacies and the more difficult aspects of the software. And I say difficult, I mean the things that with modifiers and changing the modifiers and getting into a lot more of the feature-rich aspects of the presentation. Just do a simple transaction first before you get into the more complicated and modified type transactions. In table service, you're going to want to show hostess seating, so you're going to need to be comfortable with that. Take a reservation, make and show that flow through the reservation process. Show how to seat somebody. You're going to need to know exactly how to do that. And you're going to want to show, if you have multiple sections. You'll see in my presentation that I've got multiple sections, and I've got actual table icons that aren't standard, where we have in a standard demo is just colors. In my presentation, in my demo, I actually have icons and table that they look like a table. In the quick service mode, you're going to want to be able to discuss and show drive-through if they have a drive-through. In pizza, you're going to want to show the basic transaction and then get into wholes, halves, and thirds, which then gets into how to do a delivery order. In Mesa, you're going to want to show the online flow and how to do pay at the store. I don't show pay at the door. We talk about it because I don't want you to get all twisted and worried about having to show a credit card transaction at the door. Just do pay at the store or take the order over the phone. Back over to table service, you're going to want to show hold and fire and be comfortable with the three different ways that you can hold an order. Be sure you can show that properly and comfortably. With the pizza, you're going to want to show a delivery order and how to look that up, and how to associate a customer file with the pizza order. It's very simple, but you need to be able to do that. Then split check. When I say both methods, there are two different methods of splitting a check, and you need to be comfortable doing both methods. That's something I'm going to show today. For quick service, you need to be showing coupons and discounts. They're kind of sort of the same thing, but you're going to need to show that and make sure you're comfortable with that. In pizza, you're going to want to do the customer profile so that you can then associate that with the order. Transferring checks is not something that a lot of people do during a presentation. You need to be able to show that in case the customer has a concern. Sometimes transferring checks is a theft issue. So you need to be comfortable to making sure that you know how to control it and how to do that. Then correcting modifiers before sending to kitchen. I have that on all four of these. You need to show how, if a mistake is made, that mistake can be fixed before it goes to the kitchen. So These are the things that you should show by vertical, or at least be comfortable in showing by vertical. Obviously, if the table restaurant does not do hostess seating, then you don't show it. But you do need to show how to start a table and what those different colors of the statuses of that table mean. You need to know that. Next up, these are things that you should be able to discuss without actually showing. That you don't have to show everything in the system. There are sometimes when you just need to talk about or discuss it with the customer just to let them know you have it. Like third-party interfaces. I don't expect you to show every third-party interface, but I do expect you to know what interfaces are available and then how that customer can get a demo by contacting that third party. You need to understand and discuss table sections and how you can add those. You should be able to discuss KDS, kiosk, and scanning. You don't have to own a scanner. I'm not asking you to do that, but I am asking you to understand what type of scanner, how that scanner would work, and to be able to discuss it with confidence. The same thing with kiosk and KDS. If you did a kiosk, it would need two iPads. If you did KDS, you'd need 2 iPads. So I'm not asking you to buy a separate iPad, but I am asking you to be able to discuss how they work, how they look. In pizza, driver mapping. To do that, to show it, it would require you to then send that order to your cell phone and then show the mapping on your phone. If you wish to do that, that's fine. Just set it up, practice it before you start. But you should be able to at least discuss how the mapping works. And the same thing with QR code ordering. I'm not asking you to print out a bunch of QR codes, but you should be able to discuss it. Next up would be the back office cloud. There are certain things in the back office that you really should be comfortable showing. The first of which is reporting. That's in all different verticals. You should be able to show the reports, show how you can show the circle graph. And if you click on that graph, how it expands into the actual printable PDF version of that report to give you the details. You should be comfortable on how to change a price, and you should make the user comfortable on how to change price, including the ability to do happy hours and those other automated price changes that are available in Express. You should also show the employee file to show the different security levels that are there. You don't have to change them, but just make the restaurant owner aware that there are security levels that can be put in place to secure their assets. Next is the ability to discuss these without actually showing them in the cloud. And that first one is scheduling. You really should know how to do scheduling. But if you don't want to have to show it, you should at least be able to discuss it and do it with confidence. This is a return on investment feature that you really need to know how to do. But discussing it should be at least a minimum. And then advanced pricing, that's the happy hour stuff about setting up a happy hour, brunch, lunch, and dinner, different type of prices. At least be able to confidently discuss these. So this is a document that we sent out in December. This is a document that we're going to send out again after this presentation so that you should have it. Be on the lookout. It's going to come in the next couple of days. Let's look at some general demo guidelines. You always want to keep transactions simple. That is, don't get way off in the weeds on these. Keep the attention of the restaurant owner by keeping it simple. You start getting into the complexities and creating some really crazy orders, you're going to get them confused. So don't do that. Keep it simple, make it smooth. So you need to practice this. Make sure that you're comfortable with the movement of your hands, what button you're going to push, and what the reaction is going to be when you push that button. If you push that button, is there going to be a pop-up afterwards? Be prepared for it. Is there a modifier you should select? Is there a requirement for how many modifiers? Keep it smooth. Don't fumble. So you're going to need to know when you push a button, you need to know what reaction you're going to get from pressing that. And you also want to keep it real. This comes back to keeping it simple. Keep it real, meaning don't get huge orders with a lot of items that become too complex. Create real orders, the first one being simple, but create real orders in the system that then your customer can relate to. Know what every button does on the screen. When I do the screen layout, I go over what all the different sections. In this picture, there's the ticket section, there's the categories down the left, and the function buttons over to the right, and the menu items in the middle. Go over there and point those things out and get them comfortable with what they're going to see on the screen to know what they do. And then by all means, practice until you get it right. Continue to practice, continue to play with it, and get comfortable with your demo. If you have an item that you're really wanting to show, such as pizza, well, then go through the pizza builder, build that item, and get comfortable with it, practice with it, and practice until you are to the point where you can almost do it blindfolded. Do a targeted demo. I like to customize the screens. You're seeing here's my coffee demo. I just got a coffee image and put it in the background of the login screen. Customize the screens where you can. In this case, for these coffees, I would have actual pictures of the coffee. You also, when your demos are in your live installs, where there's Coke, Pepsi, Budweiser, Coors, all these different companies, they have spent billions of dollars teaching you to look for those logos. It just makes sense that you're going to use those same logos on the screen to help the operator find those buttons. Don't overload the screen, but in certain cases, such as what I just named, you can use those to make the transaction be faster. And speed is a key aspect and the key feature of what you're looking to do. Remember, most of your competition cannot put images on their buttons. By placing a few key targeted images on your buttons, you're going to differentiate yourself from your competition and make them uncomfortable, make the competition uncomfortable, because they just simply can't do it. Do something simple like this that they cannot do. Next, add the restaurant's name to the demo. You might even want to go as far as to, if you have a printer, get their logo and put it on the printer receipt. But for sure, have the restaurant's name in the demo, as well as the owner's name. Put the owner's name as the bartender or the server so that they see their name popping up on the receipt. Focus on the needs of the operation. These needs are what came up during your survey. So take the survey. Talk to the restaurant owner before you start presenting to find out their needs, their wants, what they like about their current system, what they don't like about their current system, and what problems they're finding. What problems are they encountering that they need help solving? You can provide that solution only if you know what those problems are. Focus on the return on investment features. I mentioned a couple of them earlier, inventory being one, scheduling is another, but there are other ways of doing ROI, return on investment. You need to focus on those when you're doing your demo based upon the survey that you took. Focus on the advantages that we have. I mentioned one earlier about a simple thing about putting pictures and logos. That's one of the advantages that we have. It's a simple, easy one, but it's impossible for your competition to overcome it because you can do something they can't. There's other advantages that we have, such as Mesa and the modules that we include. So focus on the advantages we have, make them important enough that your competition has to then add those in to the cost. Doing that will bring your competition out of their comfort zone. And that's what you really want them to do. You want to take the aggressive lead in the sales process, and you can do that with these things I've just shown you on this slide. This is the money slide. This is the one that's going to make you the most money when you start doing these. When you start focusing on the ROI features, you focus on the advantages we have, you get your competition out of their comfort zone and make them add on modules, because add-ons add cost. It puts you into the lead, not only with the features, but it puts you in the lead with regard to cost. Here's a slide that I used in last week's class. The ones in red are the ones that we include at no charge that are chargeable by your competition. Focus on these, and you can then take control of the sale and make your competition be in the catch-up mode. You also want to involve the buyer. Keep the conversations going between you and the buyer, back and forth. Don't let this be just you preaching. Let this be a conversation. I love conversational ordering or conversational selling. I don't want to be preaching. I want to be having that rapport, that relationship with the owner, to let them know that I am listening and that we are reacting to their needs. Keep the conversation going. If there's multiple people that you're presenting to and they start having a conversation between themselves, let it run, let it ride, let it go. Because what you're probably going to hear is one person saying, I really like that, or that's something we can use, or that's something that's really going to help. All of a sudden, they're going to be selling themselves, and all you're doing is just assisting with the conversation. Keep that conversation going. Paint the picture by getting them to envision your terminal in their operation. So speak to it. Say, we're going to put that kitchen printer right next to the pole there where the power is. We'll put it there. We'll put our terminal in this location and the other terminal in this location. And this is how they're going to look. Paint the picture of them seeing that you're seeing your system in their operation. And then if you feel like it, get hands-on. Let them start pushing the buttons with your guidance. Let them see how easy it is to then ring up on the system, because it truly is. It is a very intuitive, easy to operate system. Let them see that. The system will help you sell that customer on what they need. Then when it comes to closing, close with confidence. You have the best system. You have a tier 1 product that will meet their needs. Be confident in that fact. Know that you have the solution they need. And then know your numbers. Know your ROI numbers based upon the survey. How many employees, if they're clocking in early, how much can you save? If their inventory is running a little high, know what they're running. Know what you can save them. Know your numbers ahead of time. Don't fumble. Be able to do this with confidence. Your confidence will come through in your mannerisms and in your verbiage. So be sure and have the confidence in your numbers and be able to express it with confidence. And by all means, be ready for objections. You know they're going to come. They're going to say your price is too high. They're going to say it's something of an objection. Be ready for it. They always do. They always come. You don't get to the end of the presentation and they just say, please give me the pen. I want to write you a check. So be ready for the objections. They come. Have your little, your ways of handling those. Be ready for them. Don't let it be a surprise. And here's the pop quiz. What's the easiest way to double your sales? What is the easiest way that you can double your sales? And that's by doubling your close percentage. If you're closing 20%, moving to 40%, you just doubled your sales without any extra effort. Learn how to be a better salesperson. Learn how to close. Close with your return on investment. Close with the fact that you've got a better system. Close with the fact that you've got the solution that meets their needs. Close more sales and you'll double your sales. That's it. It's just real simple. Be a better salesperson. So here's the first break for questions. Jeff, I'm seeing a lot of chat going on. Is there anything we should cover?
Just a couple of them that were here on topic, about how do they go and get a demo if they're not already using Aldelo Express. How do they go about and get that demo?
We have 2 trainers that their existence at Aldelo is to help train you on the software and to get your demo set up. All you have to do is contact our sales at aldelo.com. Call us at 800-801-6036. Call us and we will put you in touch with Lex and Rodney, and they will train you on the software, help you set up your demo. They won't set it up for you. That's not what they're there to do. You bring in your iPad or your Android tablet. They will help you set it up, get your demo set up, and then we will activate that as a dealer demo. That's how you get it set up. But you have to continue to use it. This is not the old days of Windows where we could just send you a key or give you a key. That's not how this works. We have to host that. We have to pay for that hosting. And all we ask is you regularly show the software at least once a month. If you're showing the software, you can maintain and keep your demo database. We don't have a problem with that. But you have to understand, we get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who are just sampling the software. And we have to go through and eliminate the ones who are not using the software in order to maintain our database. So if you're going to get the demo, use it, and you will never lose it. But yeah, that's how you get it. Is you contact us. We'll have Lex and Rodney contact you. Have your iPad or your Android tablet ready, and we'll help you and show you how to get it set up. We want you showing the software. We want you learning the software. That's simple enough. Anything else, Jeff?
Yeah, we had a good one come in. Somebody was asking, how do they show some of the peripherals, such as customer display or KDS? And you touched on this a little bit.
Yeah.
That, yes, you absolutely, your dealer accounts do allow you to show the peripheral software, such as the kitchen display or the customer display. Pretty easy to go set those up. They do require that you have a separate iPad to do those. And there is some configuration you do set up ahead of time, but it's absolutely there to do. No problem with that. The one that is not something you can directly demo is the Mesa software. And that's because, hey, that's a public platform. So if you were to go make a bunch of test stores, it's possible that some poor person out there would look at your menu and go, oh my God, I really want to order, your Philly cheesesteak for lunch. And boom, you'd start getting live orders coming in and people that think they're actually making an order to your fake restaurant. That would obviously cause some customers to be very upset. We would probably be getting some phone calls from some very hungry, very upset people. So we just don't want to cause that kind of confusion. So we don't allow demo platforms on the live system. That being said, there is a store out there that is able to be used for your demos. If you want to just see how it looks, how it works, how it flows, you guys are welcome to do that. Our partner support team can help you with that and show you where that is. But that is out there, but you're not going to have it fully integrated to your store so that you're going to see it go all the way to the kitchen and things like this. Unfortunately, that's just not going to be a possibility.
Even I use that one. I use the Mesa store, the Happy Reel. That's how I use for it to show Mesa, is that store. So you'd be using the same one that I use, and it works just fine. Works perfectly.
Yeah.
But yeah, all it takes is another iPad. I have my old iPad over here that I use for my KDS and my rear customer display. And then my new iPad's here from my point of sale. So I got the multiple iPads. It's easy to set up, and you'll be shocked at how easy it is.
Yeah.
What else, Jeff?
I think that covers us.
Okay, then let's do one more thing. Let's do a look and learn. All right, you should be seeing my coffee screen. So when I start doing a demo, I have the background images that you can change. I got these off of the internet. They're free. These were not copyrighted or property of anybody else. And I have them every 30 seconds making a change. So there's some kind of flow to this. They don't have to change. You can just load one, but have something that is customizable to that customer. That could be a picture of their restaurant as you are there visiting on your survey. Take some pictures with your iPhone and then come back and load those as images here to give them a customized feel that it's their system. This is where you can start painting that picture of the system in their restaurant. I've got mine set up for table service. In this case, I let them know that this is graphical. We move those tables to where they are located in their restaurant to give it a look of that section. I also have loaded in icons that I got off of the web that make it look a little more customizable. By swiping over, I can show that I have multiple sections, and in those different sections, I have different pictures. In this case, the patio. Come back to dining. Simple to start a transaction, just touch, and when you do, it brings up the main item screen. And I go through and I show, said here are the categories down the left, items in the center, ticket over to the right, and then I explain each of these buttons here. This is the print button or recall, I'm sorry, the recall button, the print button. This is called ellipsis. That is the access to another screen of commands for the server or the manager, depending on who's logged in. Here's the tender, and here's the done button. Also, you have the green button here. This is the order info button. This is where you can apply discounts, look up other certain things about the transaction, but it is a full, well, let's just take a look at it. A lot of information here with multiple pages. So there's a lot of information behind that green button. Up closer to the top, you have the little blue dude, blue guy. This is adding another person or adding another guest to the check. This then shows what seat you're bringing up for. And here is where you can change the mode from dine in to bar, curbside, or delivery. I explained this layout to the customer. For the iPad version, you'll see that I've now put the order on the right-hand side. Normally in the past, we had the ticket window across the top. This is a simple flag setting that you can set in the back to change it. This look here mimics the Android look, which is how the Android has the ticket down the right. If you like to have the ticket across the top, this is a single checkbox flag setting in the back office that will then put it back to where the ticket's across the top. Your choice. We're not restricting or limiting you. I do show the gesturing up and down to get to the next section. I get them used to touching the screen. The gesturing is what helps them get used to touching the screen. You can go from one section to the other like this, or you can just touch the category keys on the left to move around, whatever you want to do. You'll notice I did have the buttons with the pictures on the first page. That then gives them the understanding that we are graphical with our button layout. I don't really use them much elsewhere, but use them if you need to certainly bring home the fact that we do something that our competition does not do. Then as you touch the button, know what it's going to do. I know in this case, it's going to bring up what size do I want. By touching the size, it then rings it up. I also have buttons that don't require any additional input. Those will be great for speed entering so that you then can just touch, hit exact cash, and you're done. That is a simple transaction. I have my system set up to come right back in to do the next order and without logging out. That again is a flag setting. If you like to have where you log back in every time, that's fine. For me, I just want to go right back in and order my next order to keep it simple. You also want to know what that button is going to do. To know that if you touch the 6-inch, you have then a sandwich builder. You touch the sandwich button, it's going to give you a whole bunch of sandwiches, and you need to scroll through. So pick wisely. Know what it's going to do. If you're going to do the burger combo, you have to choose the temperature and explain to the customer the check marks mean that the burger normally comes with onions, ketchup, mayo, and mustard. By touching it, you then take that off. That's one way of doing it. Also know if you touch it with 2 fingers, it's going to give you the option to no, add only, extra light, only, whatever. Be comfortable with doing that. Be comfortable with the gestures of 1 finger, 2 fingers, and what you need to do to ring it up. Also, be comfortable going back and making a change. So touch the item that you want to change and make those modifications. A lot of the things that you do, you're going to discuss, but you need to make sure that you can do. In this case, I went to Tex-Mex, and I'm going to show our burrito builder. This is Pizza Builder disguised as a burrito builder. So we're going to touch the burrito, touch the size, type of tortilla, the meat that we're going to use, and the type of cheese. And then you're going to add your pico and your sour cream to that. That's just taking Pizza Builder and then modifying it to be something that you use for a Tex-Mex restaurant. It's the same thing as Pizza Builder. Choose the size, the type of crust, the sauce, and then the toppings. That's how we change from pizza to Tex-Mex and use the same logic in the software. If you're going to show how to split a check, be sure and ring up the items. And there's 2 ways that you can do this. You can ring up by seat and then split with a 1-button split. Another way of doing it is actually touching the ellipsis button, going split order, and you can touch the item and put it on the other check. So there's a touch move version, but wait, there's more. You can also do it this way. So you can split the check with the tile view or the check view, whichever you're comfortable with, but you're going to want to show it and be comfortable showing it. When you're done, you're done. Do you want to print? I'm going to say no. Now you have 3 different orders on the same table. All have been split. If you go ahead and close this, now you still have 2 checks open. Now, how do you get to them? You touch the close button, the top right. You close it, and there's those other 2 checks. You have to know how to get there. This is where it's going to take a little practice for you to be comfortable so that you can show it and go, look how easy it is to recall that check. You can add to it. You can do more, then close it out. Now you still have 1 check remaining. Where is it? It's still there. Hit the close button, and there it is. I'm making this really simple for you so that you can project that confidence and simplicity to your end user. So I have now done a short, maybe 10, 15-minute demo of the software. I've covered the basics of what they need. I should have them comfortable with what we have. If there's any questions, I'm going to be asking that during the presentation. So to make sure that I am covering every one of their needs. If they go, well, I need it holding fire. Great. So we have a great holding fire. Let's ring up a couple of items. Touch the item. Swipe right to left. And now that brings up this screen. Now, am I going to hold an item or am I going to hold the order? If I'm going to hold an item, I just hit the stopwatch there and I'm going to hold the item. If I want to hold the order, I'm going to go down here to the order button and hold the entire order. Not a lot of people know you can do both, but you can. So let's touch the stopwatch. And here I mentioned we had 3 ways of doing it. You can do it by the increments here, 5, 10, 15, 20-minute increments. You can do a manual hold, or you can set the date and time that you want that sent to the kitchen. So the 3 different ways of holding an item or an entire order can be done through the system. If you were to do this and go manual hold, meaning I'm going to put this on hold and I'll release it when I'm ready. You then hit the red go back button. Now, when you close out the order, you have on the tombstone here a red stopwatch. This tells the operator they have a held item on there. They need to recall that. Touch the item and then release it, clear hold. Now, when they go back and hit done, that item now sends to the kitchen. No more hold. Show how easy that is. Then go ahead and close out the ticket. Be simple, be thorough, and be confident. And to do that, you need to know every button that's on that screen and what it's going to do when you touch it.